Hey guys, PCOcast here with my final Satisfactory 1.0 World Tour. So after about 150, I say about 157 hours, somewhere around there, I've completed everything. The only thing I didn't end up doing is processing plutonium fuel rods and burning them and then processing the waste. I just felt like that was a massive pain in the butt to try and do, so I left that. And but otherwise, everything else is done. All tasks complete, everything unlocked, and all technologies and space elevator and everything. All that's done. So it all started here. I'll just give you a brief tour of sort of the starting area. Started over here. I believe that right there is my first iron node that I tapped, and that is my first copper node. In fact, the copper is basically unchanged, other than I upgraded the extractor because I ran this line off here to do some stuff over here. But this is basically unchanged from the beginning. This area is, or that area right there, is where the initial iron plates and iron rods and screws and stuff are being made. And those couple of storage containers there are pretty much the beginning. That's my first concrete. In fact, I think that's my only concrete that's going into storage. I think I've built absolutely all of my foundations and factories and stuff out of just that, which probably gives you a slight indication of how little concrete I've actually used compared to a lot of other players. Pretty much the only, other than just kind of reorganizing things a tiny little bit, pretty much everything here is the same. This area is where I'm producing all of my biofuel, and that's changed slightly. Obviously, there was a bunch of biofuel reactors here, or biofuel burners. Now it's going off this way and being burned in a fuel powered generator. I'm burning all of it as liquid biofuel over there. I initially had the hub right here, but I moved it up there, and that was the only upgrade I ever really did to this area. I never really got around to cleaning things up, building walls on factories. I mean, everything. All these factories here are just floating platforms, just your standard stuff. So these are all the basic things. I think that's motors, that's knopelisks and stuff. That I think is heavy modular frames. That is definitely modular frames. That right there is my first coal plant. I didn't even bother to really set it up all that nice. I did add I squeezed in two extra water extractors. One is for turning the biofuel into liquid biofuel, and the other is for feeding this, where I produced some of the end game item stuff for the final phase of the space elevator. That's where I'm making time crystals right there, after leaving that whole crater practically unused for most of the game. And there's my alien power thing. What is it called? Alien power augmenter. That thing. So there you go. This is where I'm making SAM fluctuator. So I basically just got into that SAM down there, and that's the majority of the SAM that I've used in the entire game. Okay, the other thing is, and I showed this off in my other world tour, the tier 4, but over there, can I go as high as we can? Don't know if we'll be able to see it from here. Yeah, there it is. Those are some of the smokestacks for my more serious second coal-powered power plant. That one, I think, makes about 3.5 gigawatts. Something like that. So that's that. I won't bother showing that. You can go back. I'll leave a link to the tier 4 so you can see how that turned out. Let's go over... Here's over there. This is basically where I kind of finished things off. What do I have equipped as my fuel? Packaged ionized. I was a little bit disappointed with packaged ionized. I was kind of hoping you would have like the lift of rocket fuel, but the burn time of liquid biofuel, and it didn't. So yeah, that's sad. So let's head over here. This was the last, basically one of the last buildings I worked on. And it's one of the few ones that I actually completely encased as well. This is a rocket fuel factory. I ended up only maxing out one of those lines of rocket fuel. And it is, I believe I've got about 160 or so going in here. I mean, that's that thing. Oh no. Yeah, over here we've got a lot of things like aluminum, some of the early aluminum stuff, aluminum casing, aluminum sheets are all being produced here. I don't even know what that is. Honestly, eventually things got so mixed around, I don't even know what everything is. That is all. I've tapped into most of the sulfur over there, and this is turbo fuel. I basically wanted to just tap into everything. I didn't make a big turbo fuel factory, but that was that. This was my failed attempt at... I failed so many times trying to get trains working, and this one was the worst of them. I zigzagged this whole thing over there and ended up not being able to get the train to run at all. Eventually, when the viewers pointed out that I had one of the train stations reversed, and I never noticed that, and yeah, ended up just tearing it all out and building conveyor belts. That was that. This would have been even more impressive. This is by far my biggest building, but this would have been a lot more impressive if I'd finished the rocket fuel. That would have gone another, like, this much. Would have been basically double the size. Alright, over here, let's go. Oh, hang on. Yeah, I did this. I have all these things showing the different levels of power. Basically, we went up 12 levels, so we would have gone up another 12 levels if I finished that off. Oops, no. Drop, thank you very much. And this, and... Alright, so here we've got things like computers, a whole bunch of stuff for the higher end, oops, items. Honestly, I've kind of lost track of what everything is here. I made an absolute mess of... Hang on a second. I made an absolute mess with all these conveyor belts and stuff. Like, look at this. We got computers running, and I think that's all like a quick wire coming in there. Let's just run up here, and we got stuff like heat sinks and cooling systems and all that kind of stuff is going on over here. That's what most of this stuff is, just back and forth with all kinds of different items. This whole area just got more and more messy as time went on, honestly. I was planning on making this a bit more of a centralized factory with the hyper cannon tower over there and stuff, but none of that ever really materialized. Yeah, okay, so we've got some stuff named off here at least. There's cooling system stuff. Got copper sheet and wire there. Nitrogen. This is one of the biggest nitrogen things I locked into. Got crystal and silica over there. There's quick wire there, rubber there, and so on. And I think here we have copper powder. That's kind of off by itself. Right. So that's that. I just got to get back over to there. I don't really want to land on this. That's going to make me go in the opposite direction from where I want to go. At one point, I just turned enemy aggression off because I got so sick of it. This was going to be a massive train station at one point, but like I said, never actually worked out. Over here, what did I end up getting over here? I think radio control units, and I'm not really sure what else I'm making over here. Find out. Superposition oscillators. There you go. That's what's going on there. Basically, just same thing as you know everywhere else. Just nothing. Not being. Most of it's not closed off. It's just open platforms with all the stuff going on there. I did build a small factory way up here, where I'm making silicon circuit boards, but it's not really worth going and taking a look at that. I did hook up all of the, all of the geothermal spots that I found that I could find. I think I got them all. They're all hooked up. They're producing around about 10 gigawatts of power. That over there, let's go and take a look at it. That was to be my big project assembly facility over here. But I quickly got distracted, I guess. And as nice, I really kind of like the way this factory looks, but it was supposed to be a lot taller, and it was supposed to basically make all of the project assembly stuff. It did not get very far. In fact, I'm only bringing iron in. There's the one train that I got working. Runs over there, picks up some iron, brings it over here, and that was turning it into, I can't remember. Might have been, might have even been to something as simple as the first set of smart plating, something like that. It's been a long time, like I said, I can't remember. I ended up making most of the project assembly stuff here, but in bits and bobs, right? So some of the stuff is down on the next level. Like anything I needed to be made out of in assemblers, for example, pressure cubes. That was the last thing I made here. They got made there. And then anything needed to be made out of manufacturers were done here. And then we had, this is the nuclear pasta I was making here, but I think we ran out of pressure conversion cubes, basically. Right, so that is that. Over there is nuclear power. That was probably one of my more impressive things. What am I not? I really did not get a very good launch off of that. What happened there? Hello? Alright, here we go. This is probably one of the biggest. I think the biggest single thing, because it just takes so much to turn a little bit of uranium into a bunch of power. So that is all that's being made here. We've got all the stuff basically going to convert that, just that, which is an overclocked impure node. I think it's 300 uranium, is getting pumped down here, turned into rods, uranium fuel rods, which are probably backed up at this point. I think I have excess. Ooh, no, it's not backed up. Look at that. I think they're actually burning through. The excess goes in there, and otherwise it comes through here. And this is 9 overclocked reactors, putting out about 56 gigawatts of electricity, assuming it's actually running. That one is currently not running. Don't know what happened there. This was just a constant nightmare from day one. The entire project was just constantly struggling with stuff backing up, waste not being processed properly. Anyway. Yeah, I miscalculated so many things with this, but I think I eventually got everything running. Everything looks like it's staying pretty stable. And here we have the stuff being turned into plutonium, the waste being turned into plutonium pellets, and then getting encased into plutonium cells, and going all the way over to here where we bring in a bunch more stuff and all of this stuff is just to convert that waste into plutonium fuel rods. We've got all of this going on here. And all that stuff making plutonium fuel rods, which are being sunk, like I said. So unfortunately, that was going to be sort of my final project, where I burn those rods and then use the plutonium to reprocess it and everything into fixonium, and then burn that. That's the final stage of getting rid of all of the nuclear waste. But this is so much easier, and I think most people who do nuclear just do this. You process the uranium waste to the point that you have plutonium fuel rods, which can be sunk for lots of points. So that's probably the easiest way to do that. And do I actually have anything else to show you? I mean, there's not a lot more factory going on. There's basically just bits and pieces of places where I'm getting some resources from. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we're gonna fly over the. There you go. We're gonna fly right over my first big project, the coal plant. That was a lot of fun. And there was so much more room to do other stuff here too. Like if I wanted to add extra, I could have easily done it. And that is it. That is the whole world. Fairly spaghetti-y, but not, not too bad, I guess, all in all. And there we go. And we're back. And that is it. All done, everything completed. Never did get around to cleaning things up and making things all look nice. I'm thinking, okay, so it took me like I said, about 157 hours. I'm thinking to make everything really nice and neat and stuff, I probably would have needed something like more like 500 to 600 hours. I'm gonna guess. Maybe not. Maybe I'm overestimating, but anyway, there you go. That is PCO Cast's Satisfactory World. Hope you enjoyed the tour, and we will see you guys in another video and probably another video game. Thanks very much. See you next time.